in Beverly Hills. I currently had an audition for Nike, waiting for a callback. It takes a lot of courage to be a model and actor. I have the courage. To people who say that kids can't do the same thing as adults, I say, yes, you can.
Thanks, Tyrone, and thank you for joining us today for My Awesome Empire. Produced entirely by students at Cal State San Bernardino who love to tell the stories of the heroes of the Inland Empire. Do you know an incredible war veteran who should be recognized? Do you know an extraordinary community volunteer or a chef? We'd love to hear about them. Write to us, My Awesome Empire at csusb.edu. Thanks to student producer co-hosts Jackie Padilla and Bobby Albano. Engineers Richard Flores, Cesar Perez, and Chief Production Engineer Arnold Robles. My Awesome Empire is a production of the College of Arts and Letters at California State University, San Bernardino. Until next week, I'm Lacey Kendall. Have an awesome week.
You're listening to KCAA Loma Linda at 106.5 FM, K293CF Moreno Valley.
Ha, yeah. Y'all know what time it is. So just sit back and relax because the show's about to start. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Hey. It is KCAA AM 1050, and you are listening to Down to Earth Talk with Mr. Inland Empire, hosting Let's Talk Community. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Hope everybody had a good 2016. I want to welcome you into 2016. Sorry I missed you on your last show. We had some technical difficulties, but we are back hot and heavy for 2016. I want to remind everybody that you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/inlandcommunity. That's where you can plug in with us during the week and when we are off the show to see what we're doing and what we're promoting and just the awesome stuff. And if you have stuff in the Inland Empire that you would like to have highlighted, go ahead and share it there. Interact with us, message us, or post it to the page, and we will get you hooked up, and we will start promoting. And then I also would like to, there's a couple awesome shining stars in the Inland Empire that we'd like to give some happy birthday shout-outs to this week. First of all, my business partner and part-time co-host, Victor Ibarra, a.k.a. Little Saint. I want to give him a happy birthday. We went out to Disneyland on Wednesday, got wet, super wet, but we had a good time celebrating Little Saint's birthday. And his birthday pin said Piglet. That was funny. And then the rap rock musician extraordinaire Travis Miller, he is celebrating his birthday today. So Travis, if you're listening, happy birthday. And if you don't, if you have not heard Travis's music, go to our page later today, Inland Community or Let's Talk Community, and whatchamacallit, we're going to put some of his music up so you guys can hear. He's an awesome artist. He does the mixture of that rock rap kind of thing with a guitar. Really talented guy, awesome musician. So also don't forget to follow us on Instagram. That's Mr. Inland Empire, MR Inland Empire. And you can also follow our partners IE Shine On and IE Explore to get your full dose of what's going on in the Inland Empire. Want to just talk about some of the stuff we did this week before we get on with our extra cool host that we have, our guest that we have today. We did some fun stuff. We chilled. We had a very good 2016 New Year quiet, which is always good for me. And we also got a chance to do a little Second Amendment fun. I went and got out and finally got a chance to go out and shoot my handgun and help my father-in-law purchase a handgun. And it was kind of neat watching the experience because we went down to Turner's and the people at the counter says there's no longer selling the gun. It's more or less just filling out paperwork. So that was kind of crazy to see the massive amount of people. They're all out there looking at firearms, purchasing firearms, and going through the tests. So if you have any questions about any of that kind of stuff, we actually have some knowledge there. So go ahead and hit us up on our page, and we can explain some of that stuff for you. And we'll put some stuff up to help take the sting out of guns, because we know everyone's so scared of those lately. So, but today we have Scott Sparks. He is the principal at Eisenhower High School. I am a graduate there, graduated from Eisenhower in 1997. So I have to say I'm pretty proud to have him here. He's also a recent Parks and Recs commissioner. So I'll say good afternoon, Mr. Sparks.
Good afternoon.
And I'm going to call him Mr. Sparks because I'm one of those weird guys that has the I'm appropriate. He's a principal. I'm scared of principals, so. But no, really good guy, great guy out in the community, and probably one of the people that my father-in-law speaks most highly of. So, but Scott, it's really nice to have you on today.
It's great being on. I'm really excited about this. Never done this, and so it's going to be a fun time. Well,
if you guys, if anyone went to the Facebook page and saw, when I was digging through your Facebook pictures, I was looking, what picture do I use for the invitation for this, for having him on the radio, and I saw you sitting behind the desk at the Fontana Speedway, and I'm like, that's it. That's the picture. That's the one that's going to get people to click on the invitation and say that they're going to listen to the radio today. So, what was that all about?
Well, my boss, Dr. Avila, took us to the Raceway. It was about a promotion what the Raceway was doing about reading with the elementary students, and we got to go look around there. And I'm a big NASCAR fan, and so when we got into the media area, the media press box area, they let me sit down behind the desk where all the NASCAR people are there, and I got to take a picture. And so it was pretty exciting for me.
That was a cool picture. I was actually a little bit jealous. I want a picture like that. That would be my I think that would be my Facebook picture forever. So, but yeah. So we got a chance to talk. You've actually are probably one of the more gracious administrators in local education. You've been very instrumental in making sure that you opened the doors of Eisenhower to positive people to do things for your students, and I've been a recipient of that a few times. And so I just wanted to tell everybody that this is one of those principals that gives us access to help his students, not just teachers and stuff, but actually people out in the community are able to come in and really do what we can to help his kids. And I've just always thought that was really cool. But I was wondering, did you grow up in the region, or did you come from outside of the region?
Actually, I was born in San Bernardino, and I lived in Rialto all my life. Technically, San Bernardino, Rialto, just north of Rialto High School, if Rialto High School was there when I was growing up.
Yeah, it wasn't there, right?
No, it wasn't there. That was all sand. Went to Kelly Elementary, went to Frisbee Junior High at the time, graduated from Eisenhower High School in 1990. I did leave. I went to Arkansas State for a year to play baseball and go to school. I came back, graduated from Cal State San Bernardino, raised my family up in Rialto. I did have a brief time in the high desert. When I became an administrator, I came back to Rialto because I didn't want to have the long drives back and forth as an administrator, especially on Friday nights.
With the long hours, right?
Long hours, and I wanted to be able to get home quicker. Plus, Rialto is my home, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to bring myself back to my home.
And when we were talking, we actually kind of both had someone at Eisenhower who was instrumental in our time there. I was only there for 1 year. My dad didn't want me. He actually didn't want me to go to Eisenhower, so he moved us all. My dad was a prison guard, and he moved us all over the state trying to keep me away from Eisenhower. He had to file a bankruptcy. I did my senior year at Eisenhower, and both my brothers did all 4 years, so that worked out real well, Dad. But Coach Clarendon was probably. I had a rough year because I went to a different high school every year. So my senior year was a little rough because I didn't have all those attachments that you normally have and stuff. And Coach Clarendon was kind of that person who kind of took me under his wing, and along with Coach Heidi and some of the others, and said, "You can do this. Buck up. It's good." And you had he's kind of instrumental in you picking out your career. Is that right?
Yeah, that was correct. I was big into sports. I still am big into sports, and I wanted to be a sports writer. And I kind of realized early that I couldn't spell very well, and we didn't have spell check at the time. So he was one time we were playing in 6th period PE, and he was just playing a game where you hit the ball through the hole, and it was kind of a bet type thing. Whoever got the most had to run or didn't have to run. And so with him playing, I kind of said, "You're getting paid for playing?" He says, "Yeah, this is my job." And I go, "That's the kind of job I want. I want to play to pay. I get
paid to
get
play.
paid to play." And so from that point on, I always wanted to be a PE teacher. And from there, I became a PE teacher. That was my goal the whole time, and that's what I did.
Was that so? Out of college, what was your first job out of college?
My first job out of college was I worked at Walmart, actually, and which was a great learning experience for me. You learn how to deal with people, and that's the most important. Is I learned a lot from Sam Walton and how to treat people, and treat people right. And that's how I try to run my school. Is we are a place where people should come in and feel welcomed. And so that was my first job. And then I substituted at the same time as working at the same time at Walmart, I substituted for about 4 years. Taught me a lot because I was elementary, middle school, high school, the whole thing. Anytime, anybody they wanted me to sub, I would sub. And then I finally grabbed a job as an elementary teacher in 4th grade. So for 4 years, I was a 4th grade elementary
What
teacher.
school was that at?
At Morgan Elementary.
Okay.
To be honest with you, elementary teachers are the best teachers because you learn how to teach. You can't fake it in elementary.
Nope.
If a kid knows you don't know it, they'll find out. In high school, you can fake it for an hour, and you have to fake it for 5 hours, but you get different kids to fake it with. And then I got lucky and grabbed a job at Eisenhower PE, which was was my dream job. I took over Mr. Malady's spot, who was also a mentor to me. We went through, and I had a great principal with Mr. Reggie Tompkins.
Mm-hmm.
I interviewed one time to be an athletic director. I really didn't really want the job. I just kind of wanted the experience of interviewing. I interviewed. He thought I wanted to be more than a PE teacher, so he asked me if I wanted to go to admin. I didn't, but it was something that I wanted to do later in life.
Mm-hmm.
But I said I'll go. I'll go back and get my master's in it. I already had my master's in PE at the time, so I had to go back and get my second master's in administration of credential. I finally got the assistant principal's job at Eisenhower when he left, and so he left me high and dry, and I was sitting there for my first year as an assistant principal, and I'm like, I don't know if I really want to do this.
Wow.
And the rest is history. 5 more years as assistant principal, and then I finally got the opportunity to lead Eisenhower.
How long have you been a principal at Eisenhower?
This is 2.5 years, so this is my 3rd year.
Okay, seems so much longer than that.
Well, at Eisenhower, that's a pretty long time. Honestly, our principals probably have lasted roughly 2 years. The last 4 of them have lasted 2 years or less. So, I'm right now I'm the oldest for a long time. I don't think they've had anybody over 8 years total as an Eisenhower principal. So my goal is to make it 10 years, at least.
Well, you've got the age for it, right?
I guess. I mean, I don't.
Well, you look like you're on the younger side of things. So.
Some people would say, yeah, I'm 44, so I'm not too old.
No, yeah, still you're there.
So 20 more years at Eisenhower makes me 64 and about ready to retire. But I don't plan to retire by then. Depends on, where I'm at in life. But the idea is to be there at least 10 to 20 years. I have one of my coworkers. She works with me in Link Crew. We watched the principal at one of the schools in Colorado. He had been there for a long time,
mm-hmm.
and he had to fly into the gym. So really what he did, he had a big long rope, and he got to fly into the gym when he retired. And I said, so when I retire, I want to do that at Eisenhower. I want to be able to fly into the gym.
Well, your staff could probably make that happen. You've got kind of a very interesting, wild staff over there, don't you?
I have a great staff.
Yes.
I mean, to be honest with you,
if the Facebook pictures probably don't even break the surface of what goes on there, but you're you got to be a great administrator to play along with a lot of the stuff. But you seem like you have a staff that really has passion to impact students on a daily basis.
The one thing about Eisenhower, it doesn't matter who's the principal, to be honest with you, because the staff is so great. They can run that place on their own. They care about kids. That's the one place that anybody will say about Eisenhower is it's the greatest place to be because the teachers care so much, and that's what makes it a special place, is because the staff themselves, not just the teachers but the whole staff, they care so much.
Yeah, we work a lot with Sammy. She's the advisor for your Polynesian club, and she's awesome. I love her kids. I love working with her. Any opportunity where someone needs any type of group dancer, I'm always like, you need to get the Ike Polynesian Club, because she loves her kids. She's adopted all of those kids. She's gonna have like 1 million kids by the time she retires, because she loves so much for her students, not just her Polynesian kids, but her English students. My wife's an educator as well. They always share stories about their students, and they're so alike. It's crazy and ironic. I'm like, wow, you're like twins, and you didn't even know it.
Miss Rodriguez is awesome. As you say, I will say the same thing. I call her Miss Rodriguez, and on those she's way young. She has that knack. She's a special teacher because she has those knack with those kids. We have one kid that I can really pinpoint. He was in the office every day. I mean, I thought he was my next assistant principal. He was in there so much. But he was in there so much. He's a nice kid, but he's had some family issues, and you need somebody to talk to. He joined the Polynesian group, and honestly, I never see the kid anymore because she takes care of him. He's going to graduate. He's going to graduate because of her, and just the relationship she has built with those kids is just awesome. I almost lost her because of, when you had to cut people because of whatever.
Yeah.
I fought for her because there was no way I could lose a teacher that built that much relationship and cares that much. That's what it's about. It's about the relationships and the caring that she. And again, she's just one part of Eisenhower. She graduated from Eisenhower.
Yeah,
so
that's what's kind of cool is, we live in the same neighborhood. Her mom, she grew up in the neighborhood where I purchased a home, and neighbor watch captain and all that stuff. And it's kind of neat to see people from the neighborhood come back and be a part of, growing up the next generation and teaching the next generation and being part of the success of, the millennials.
Well, a lot of our teachers graduated Eisenhower. I think I got about 20 staff members that graduated from Eisenhower. I have one teacher that I just picked up this year. She left San Bernardino school to come to Eisenhower because she wanted to come to Eisenhower.
Because come back home, right?
Well, she wanted to come back home and give back. She's an awesome teacher. Those guys know what it's about, and we have a saying called Ike Mob, and
Ike Mob, what?
And truly, that it means family, and that's kind of what we are. We're a big family.
Yeah.
So anybody who graduated from there is part of the once an Eagle, always an Eagle type thing.
Yep.
So it's a wonderful place to be. Honestly, it's my second home. We've been out for 3 weeks, but it's very difficult for me to stay away.
Yeah, we were just talking about that earlier, weren't we?
Yeah. It's just I have to go back, and the great thing about being off is when I'm kind of done, I can leave when I want to leave and go home, and and my wife won't be so mad at me for being away for so much. But we did have 3 games this week, so
oh yeah,
I'm the announcer for the basketball teams too.
Look at you.
It serves 2 purposes. We need an announcer. It's fun for me. I really enjoy it.
Being the guy who wanted to be the sports writer, right?
Being the guy who wants to be the sports writer. I get to learn the kids, get to see the kids more. And I also get to play admin because we have to have admin there. So if I'm going to have to be there, I was going to be there anyways. Might as well have fun. And
might as well do something, right? Because remember, the goal was to play while you're at work, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Play while I'm at work. And that's the fun part of the whole thing.
And this guy does play. They actually... one of the things that I've been involved with where it wasn't any organization I could just kind of lay my hair back and have a good time was your guys' Dancing with the Stars thing. I missed it this year. I went to it last year, but you really get involved. You're a judge, right?
Yeah, I judged this. I judged last year, judged this year. I'll continue to judge, and as long as they'll keep asking for me to come back, I do anything that they ask me to do. To be honest with you, on my birthday, they needed to raise some money, and they would sell a yard of tape to tape me to the wall. And so I was like, okay, let's do it. So for the last 2 years, I've gotten taped to the wall. Unfortunately, this was my birthday. I got to get taped to the wall. But anything that they need, I'll do, and it's fun. So from announcing to getting taped to the wall to, I don't know, whatever crazy thing they can come up with. I know I've gotten tomato sauce, splashed on my face, hit the principal or hit the assistant principal with tomato sauce during one of the, I really, actually it's pizza sauce. I cannot stand the smell of pizza sauce to this day, but it's whatever they need me to do, I'll do it.
Well, one of the coolest things about the Dancing with the Stars, other than, the fact of music and the dancing, is listening to the kid, like sitting in the crowd and watching all of those kids excited together. And you have all kinds of different kids. You got all your different little subgroups of teenager all in one area, cheering, having a good time. I'm looking around, I'm like, everyone's just like chilling. No one's like stressing out, no one's getting angry at each other, and they're watching their teachers and different staff members up there dancing. Some of them are super silly, some of them are really talented, but they're having a blast. And I'm just like, this is how you get a kid excited to be at school, by showing them you're invested in making sure that they love being there, right?
Right, and that's the whole goal, is that it's a place that they can go to and enjoy and feel safe. Number one is our safety, but and if they feel safe, they can let themselves down, feel safe emotionally and physically, so they can let their hair down as well, and they can do those things that can be silly. They can be a kid, instead of trying to be outside and be an adult.
Yeah,
they can actually be a kid and have fun, and the more they enjoy going to school, the more they go to school, and the more they go to school, the more they'll learn. And that's our goal, is that they're learning at the whole time. And if they're learning, that's what we want to do, is let them come back as well to our community. I know Rialto PD, and actually the fire got some not the volunteers, but they hired some people, and I noticed some of them were out of our city. And what I was my upset was, why didn't we provide those fire people to the fire department? Why doesn't the Rialto Unified School District have something that pulls those
funnels
kids
them
in?
back into
Right. And so we started the law enforcement academy this year.
Yeah, who's the teacher that teaches that?
Juan Escamilla.
Yeah, I saw him talking about that on Facebook this year, and I was like, that's pretty cool.
Right. And that's the idea, is that we're trying to provide for the city. So not just the city, but the surrounding, and the kids have something to go to, that they graduated not with just a high school diploma, but with a trade as well,
With a skill set, right?
Exactly. And
That's that's one of my things that I've always loved about my father-in-law, Rick York, the auto body instructor, is he's not just there having the kids do tasks, get some hours, send them out the door. I've watched him, with his advisory club. He actually looks for people that are going to do stuff for his students. He actually looks for opportunities for them to work. He actually still works in the body shops during the summer and off periods. And I love it when I hear him say, oh, yeah, one of my students is the painter's helper at the body shop I'm working at this summer. Or we run into his students all the time when we go to AutoZone or, the Morris Automotive in Fontana or whatever. We're always running into his students. And they always say, yeah, Mr. York helped me get this job. So because a lot of his kids are on the, trouble side of things. And he actually gives them an opportunity to say, okay, you don't like your studies, that's fine, but you still need to go to school. And here, let me give you a skill to where you can be successful as an adult once you get out of here. And so those are, wood shop and all of the different things that that high school still offers, the few things, right?
Right. Well, we're actually fortunate to offer the wood shops, the auto body. We have welding. We have engineering now. I just developed a biomedical class in order to try to a lot of people are invested in health. So we try to find out what kids really like and enjoy, but also what's going to provide for the community as well. And so the auto body is a fantastic class. Kids love it. He's also willing to work 0 period for kids who really need 8 periods a day because they've fallen behind. And as well as wood shop. And those classes, my brother loved wood shop. So when schools get rid of those classes, we do kids a disservice, because there's more than just the books. There's the skill sets that you need to learn. Even if you're never going to be a welder, or even if you're never going to be a wood shop, just learning how to solve those problems physically is very important.
Yeah, if it wasn't for sports, I wouldn't have finished high school.
Right.
It was I had to get my grades up to play. So yeah. So if it wasn't for sports, I would have been like, forget it.
And that's a great thing about high school. Is that there's for our school, I know that we have so many things for so many kids, and I'd like to add more if possible, because I know there's some kid I'm not reaching out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to reach that kid. I want to know that kid belongs there and belongs with something. That's why we try to make as many clubs as possible, offer many sports as possible, offer as many classes as possible. So I mean, the idea is that kids enjoy going to school. And I know not everybody likes school. My wife didn't like school. But if she could have found a niche and found something that she really liked and going every day, the Sammy Rodriguez's that bring her in, those teachers that really bring people that bring those kids in and get those kids to go every day, that's what it's about. And that's what I look for when I'm hiring a teacher, is not just how smart are you, is how well can you work with my kids. And how can you build a relationship with those kids?
Well, everybody's smart, but not everybody can hold the kids' attention and have a good rapport with them, especially teenagers.
Right. Exactly.
They're difficult. So we're like I told you, this is the fastest 30 minutes in radio. I wanted to touch on your most recent endeavor is Parks and Recs commissioner.
Okay. What
drove you to want to be a commissioner? Because that's not something that's just hand to you. You actually have to fill an application.
You do. To be honest with you, I was trying to give back to my community. I wanted to get involved more to my community. Just graduating there and living there, and I wanted to do more. So we went to some of the council meetings. We started getting involved a little bit, just watching, and making sure we participate as well. It only works with people.
Yeah.
And if you don't get people out there, it's not going to work. So I wanted to support the city of Rialto and what they were doing and what they're trying to do. And so I decided I'll put in for the Parks and Rec. And so it actually took a year. I didn't realize
it's a long process.
I had put it in, and I thought, I guess they didn't really want me. That's fine. That's not a big deal. And then a year later, they called me and said they want to put me on the Parks and Rec Commission. And I said, I almost forgot about it. I said, sure, no problem. At the time, I was actually an assistant principal when I put it in, and then I'm sorry, I was just a principal. And then I just got onto the board, I think, in June. So it's been a while.
So how's the experience so far being a commissioner?
It's been great. Everybody's very helpful. I'm just kind of learning how things work, what I can do. I got put on a subcommittee, or I volunteered for a subcommittee. I can't say I got put on. I did volunteer for it, of choosing who gets to go on what fields and when. And it was a hot topic. I didn't realize how hot topic it was, but it was. And I think we did a good job. I think we made the right decisions. And hopefully everything works out. I know they're looking at building some more parks. And so getting to talk to people and figure out what we really need in the city of Rialto. Do we need more soccer fields? Do we need more softball fields? What do we need? That would be the greatest thing, is just to talk to people and see what they really want to do.
So, and as he says, people need to get involved and they need to hear from you. That means that you listeners out there, you need to get involved, right? You guys won't know what they want unless someone speaks up, right?
Exactly. If you don't tell us what is needed, then we're going to decide what's needed, and sometimes what we feel is right is not always right. So it's a good thing to tell us, we need more soccer fields, adult soccer fields, or we need more softball fields, or we need more football fields, or, I just like a dog park, or I just like a community garden, those type of things. And it can't just be one person. It's got to be a few.
Cool. Well, as we are getting our 1 minute warning, I just want to thank you for coming out today and spending a little bit of time with us and telling us about who you are and thank you for what you do for the students of Rialto at Eisenhower. Well,
thank you, and I'd like to thank you for everything you do. You keep, to be honest with you, you keep me informed of what happens in the city of Rialto, and I do truly appreciate that.
Well, thank you everybody for listening, and we will see you again in 2 weeks. Have a good day. Peace.
This is 1050 AM, KCAA Loma Linda, and 106.5 FM, Yucaipa.
Your NBC Sports Radio update starts now.
The NFL playoffs kicked off with a bang.
Davis runs it out along the hashes to the 5 to the 10, banks it outside left 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. He's got nobody with him. He's going to go all the way. He's got 10 yards on the field, dancing outside the numbers, 15, 10, 5, into the end zone, touchdown.